Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New coming at you on this bright and glorious Sunday morning. And first and foremost, as always, just want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to everyone. Hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Happy Father's Day for all of those fathers out there. And if you do have a father that's near and dear to you, then be sure to send him a special note of thanks or do something special for him. That would be great. So as we all know, last night was Game 7 of Brooklyn Nets taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. And as I had stated previously on my previously 2 videos regarding this series, that I said, what did I say? Please go back and look at the tape. Basically, I said I had in my head, I knew Milwaukee would win the game because of James Harden being injured and with Kyrie Irving being injured. So in my head, I knew if Milwaukee played smart, then they would definitely win the game. And I also said, but in my heart, I felt like with the crowd, Kevin Durant playing an excellent game, and if he were to happen to get contribution for others like he did that of Jeff Green the other night, then Brooklyn could come away with the victory. And of course, it was a classic game. One of the games that will go down in history of the NBA as one of the greatest Game 7s, I think, of all time, especially with Kevin Durant hitting that amazing shot to send it into overtime. But we'll get into the game in just a little bit. But it's the main things that I really need to focus on for all the smooth-brained, dumbass people that's out here, because this is what I'm trying to say. Everybody kept saying, and let me just make this point, that nobody can do it by themselves. I've been saying that when it applied to LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. I don't care who it is, and I've stated time and time again, you have to have a dynamic duo at least to win a championship in the NBA. One superstar is not going to do it. One superstar is not going to do it. You have to have at least one other good superstar. And that's what I said about LeBron when he had Kyrie. They won a championship, or they competed for a championship every year. When LeBron had D-Wade, they won a championship or competed for a championship every year. When LeBron had a healthy AD, they won a championship or competed for a championship every year. So the dumbass is like, let's just say, a stack 5, for instance, which I try not to roast nobody up, but he really has been contradicting himself a lot lately, and some of the things he says doesn't make sense. Now, when Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets went out there and won, I'm gonna make a whole separate video for this, but when Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets went out there and won, what was it, Game 5, and Kevin Durant had 49 points, stack 5 all on his Instagram. Woo! I told y'all, real ball players this, real ball players no. That's why they respect it. Roasting Giannis, saying this and that. Oh, all on KD slum, just all KD, all this and that, because you already was kissing KD ass prior to that, as we all know. But at the end of the day, when KD did go off for them 49 points and help will his team to victory, like I stated in that video, Jeff Green poured in 27 points and was 7 out of 8 from three-point land. So when you have the contributions of others, it's going to make a difference. And if I see one more dumbass meme talking about Paul George beat, without his superstar Kawhi, won his series. What else? It was another one. Maybe Kevin Durant without, but that's not the case because they didn't win. So whoever, they say, well, they didn't have a superstar and still able to win the series. Come on now. Paul George, we all know he had contributions from Terrence Mann pouring in 37 points. Was anybody for the Lakers helping LeBron pour in 30 points? These dudes can barely hit double digits. So that's somehow LeBron's fault. He's supposed to make his teammates better, y'all say. They say, I say. You can't shoot it for these. You can't shoot it for them. You can get their ass open, and you can get them the ball at the most perfect spot, which he does, but you can't make it go in. Like Jeff Harris after the game, Joe Harris, whatever the hell his name is, missed so many shots. He missed so many shots. If he would have made his shots throughout the course of the series, then the Brooklyn Nets win the series easily, running away with it, even with the injuries. But it wasn't simply the case because, like I said, you have to have contribution from the others. You have to have your team, your whole team has to be able to help you win. No, this is not golf. This is not tennis. No one player can go out here and simply win a series by themselves. And that's why I picked Milwaukee Bucks the past 2 games, because I knew James Harden wasn't completely himself. Anytime he shot up a 3, I knew it wasn't going in because he's not healthy. If he was healthy, then those 3s would have went in. If he was healthy, he makes a lot of these fast break conversions. If he was healthy, then he gets to the hole a lot quicker and he gets others involved by him slashing to the bucket and kicking it out to open men. As we all know, James Harden was probably the best player on the Nets this year. I mean, Kevin Durant is great, but let's not forget the tear that James Harden was going on and had Brooklyn as the #1 seed in the East for the majority of the year, while Kevin Durant missed 29 games. So let's not forget that. So let's just take in the whole dynamic of this whole thing. So I want the same energy that everybody gave LeBron James for not being able to win when he had an injured superstar. I want that same thing for Kevin Durant. Is this going to affect his legacy? So for everybody talking about he in the GOAT talk after one damn game that he had, oh, he in the GOAT talk, he's sitting his ass at home. Next year he'll be 33 years old. He'll still be 2 championships behind LeBron James and 4 MVPs behind LeBron James and damn near 15,000 points behind LeBron James. So while he may creep into the top 10 before it's all said and done with his career, LeBron James he will never be. And everybody want to say he's better than LeBron James. Do you understand? It's all about putting the ball in the hole when it comes to scoring. And LeBron James, they average the same. Him and Kevin Durant had the same career average per game. And LeBron James has a higher field goal percentage. Now, Kevin Durant may take more 3s and more jumpers because LeBron is more prone to get into the hole throughout his career. But who gives a damn? Because at the end of the day, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And LeBron James find a way to get it into the hole. And that's what you're supposed to do to make the money and to will your team to victory. So at the end of the day, it's money for LeBron 50% of the time. So if you shoot 50% for your career, you understand there's no shot at Kobe, but look at Kobe field goal percentage to that of a LeBron, to that of a Kevin Durant. And that's why, to me, LeBron James is GOAT status. But people, well, Jordan was 6-0 in the finals. Jordan was 6-0 in the finals. Jordan had key contributions. 2 of Jordan championships, y'all. 2 out of those 6 championships, you do realize that other role players hit walk-off 3-pointers to end the series. The Phoenix series, Paxson hit the 3 with the pass from Horace Grant out of the post. Go back and look at My Last Dance Exposed. You can look at the whole thing and you can see Horace Grant passed it out to Paxson for the 3 in Game 6 to win the game by 1 point. If that would have went to Game 7 in Phoenix, who knows what would have happened? Who knows? And then let's not forget another series where Steve Kerr hits the game-winning shot as they walked off on that series. Steve Kerr hits the game-winning shot with a pass from Michael, as we all know. And they won that finals. So you're talking about 2 finals where the game-winning shot, the series-ending shot, not just the game-winning shot, but the series-ending shot was hit by a role player. And you talking about, oh, GOAT status this, GOAT status that, and clutch. Okay, so was Kevin Durant clutch last night? He hit the 3 and took it to overtime. That was hella clutch. And I don't take nothing away from Kevin Durant. That was hella clutch. But at the end of the game, he had an opportunity to win, and he shot up, I believe, was an air ball. Was that clutch? So, to be totally honest, I do not blame, if you want to point fingers on this loss by the Brooklyn Nets, you point fingers solely and directly to that of, I ain't gonna say solely, but a big majority of the loss, the blame you have to place on Steve Nash. Because you played Harden and Kevin Durant hella minutes. Did you just not see the last game that you won at home that Jeff Green contributed 27 points and was just knocking 3s down? But instead, yesterday, for some odd reason, you opted to give Jeff Green only 10 minutes in the game and give Blake Griffin over 30 minutes. made no sense to me. And at some point, trust in some of your bench players and let Jeff Green and Blake Griffin get those minutes and rest Kevin Durant, because that boy was exhausted. By the time they got to overtime, you could see the look on his face when he hit that shot that everybody thought was a 3, but his toe was on the line and it was only a 2. Everybody thought that it was a 3. And his look on his face when he saw that it wasn't a 3 and it was gonna have to go the extra 5 minutes, that boy looked sick. He's like, oh my God, he was exasperated. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he scored in the overtime period. But my point is, you did not rest him. And then at the end of the game, it was like 10 or 11 seconds left. You had a timeout. You down by 2. You could hit a 3 to win, or you can hit a 2 and take it to double overtime, to where your chances might be a little bit better. But who knows, because at this time, Kevin Durant is so exhausted. But who knows, the crowd might go into it. You go on a quick 6-0 run and start off the double period, and then the team will fold. I've seen it happen 100 times. So, but instead of calling the timeout, Steve Nash, you left the timeout on the board. You could have called a timeout, let these players get a rest and get a break, and then maybe draw up something for Kevin that's going to get him open. Or maybe run a back screen or something, or run something that's going to get you some easy action right at the rim. That way, if KD were to get fouled, take it to the hole, they're probably going to call a foul. He's going to hit his free throws. We all know that. So, just to me, to not call a timeout as a head coach in a situation like that, I understand letting your players play through it. Like if it's a fast break opportunity and they running up the court, yeah, let them continue to play. But Milwaukee had already got back on defense and set their defense. So why the hell you didn't call a timeout? It just shows that you still an inexperienced coach, and it's only your first year coaching, so that's something that'll get better. One thing I found interesting after the game was Joe Harris was saying, people encouraging him in the locker room, saying, don't worry, we'll get it next year, we'll get it next year. But I don't know if that'll be the case, because when you don't show up in the playoffs like that, sometimes players don't want you around. They might say that hum-ho stuff to you in your face, but they'd be behind closed doors to upper management saying, bruh, get him out of here, because if he would have showed up and did his job, the only thing we asked him to do is hit open threes, and if he could have hit it just even from a decent clip, then of course we all know that the Nets would have easily won that game. So it's a little bittersweet for me. As you all know, I'm the biggest LeBron James fan, and a lot of people think that if you're a LeBron James fan that you automatically a Kevin Durant hater. And a lot of people feel like, you know, I don't have to hate on anybody. And at the end of the day, the reason why people hate on LeBron James so much is because he is a threat to Jordan's legacy. So why should I hate on Kevin Durant where he is nowhere near a threat to LeBron James' legacy? Pull up the numbers. I'm going to do a whole video. I know y'all keep asking me to put LeBron James' 4 championships into context. I plan on doing that. It's going to be a great offseason. It's going to be so much to talk about. But it's still kind of bittersweet to me that Brooklyn is gone, because now with the 4 teams that you have left, well, 5, depending on, you know, how this game works out tonight between Atlanta and Philadelphia, which to me right now is a complete toss-up. It's a complete toss-up. But if I had to put money on it, I'd pick Philly in the straight up, because it's at home and it's a game 7. I know Ice Trae can start doing his thing, but I think the injury to Bogdan or Bogdan, whatever the hell his name is, he's a key contributor to them, to their success, and he's their starting 2 guard. So we're going to see what Nate McMillan and company is going to come up with as far as their offensive strategy. I don't think it make one bit of difference on the defensive end of the floor, because Ben Simmons has been no offensive threat in this series whatsoever. So, but anyway, back to the Brooklyn thing. So Kevin Durant is sent home. Now he has to see what it's like to not have help. You understand what I'm saying? People think you can do it all on your own. So now, if we line up Kevin Durant's legacy next to LeBron James' legacy, what we can indeed see is Kevin Durant was down 3-1 to a team. I mean, was up 3-1 on the team, and then that very same team, y'all made the Hampton 5 and went up here and created this plan and this plot to come up, you know, with this super team that you came up with. And it worked out well, because you were able to get the championships that you coveted it so much. And so now you have another opportunity in the East. You have to do the same thing, basically. And I think if the Nets actually wouldn't have went out and got Harden, and Dinwiddie wouldn't have been injured, and they would have, held on to LeVert, then I really think that the Nets would have maybe won the series against the Bucks, even if Kyrie was injured. Because if you had a healthy Dinwiddie and you had a Karis LeVert, then I think they easily win that series, because LeVert is such downplayed. People don't realize how great of a young talent he really is, and I think he's going to make a name for himself in the association and around the association for the next couple of years. But at the end of the day, y'all can tell I've been a little under the weather, so my voice is, I'm losing my voice, and I really want to say a lot more when it comes to that Kevin Durant, because everybody wants to compare him to LeBron and say, oh, he's the greatest player in the world. So put in the comments below, do you think he's the greatest player in the world now, after he took that L yesterday? Me personally, I'm not a smooth brain, so I know it was going to take a team effort for them to be able to win. Because just look at the Clippers series. Donovan Mitchell was clearly hobbled after game 2. He was clearly hobbled and not the same player for the rest of the series. Mike Conley was out the whole series, and then when he came back that last game, he was clearly not himself. If you know Mike Conley, you know that was not the Mike Conley that you are accustomed to seeing. So, sometimes people are just going to win series based off injuries. That's just going to happen. Sometimes people are just going to win series like that. It's unfortunate, but it's just part of the game. So, Chris Paul, still under COVID protocol. He probably won't be playing in the game today, which that's unfortunate that Utah didn't even stretch their series out for at least 7 games. We could add another great game 7 today, and then maybe Chris Paul could come back for protocol. But that's going to be an outstanding series, because at the end of the day, Suns are down Chris Paul, but guess what? The Clippers are down Kawhi Leonard. So we shall see how that all works out. It's going to be a very different finals this year, because it's going to be the first time ever, really, in 10 or 11 years, that it's been the finals without a LeBron James or a Steph Curry or a Kevin Durant. So the past 10, 11 years, you done had one of those 3 players in it. So now the NBA, let's just see how the ratings do. When you got especially a small market Phoenix, a small market Milwaukee, Atlanta a little bit larger market, but Philly would be the largest market left, if I am not sorry, LA, my bad, because they're the Clippers, I keep forgetting. So no, they still a large market, even though they are the Clippers and this little ugly stepchild of the Los Angeles Lakers. But now I ain't gonna rush y'all Clippers up too much, but I know Tyronn Lue is trying to get a lot of people, y'all know what the hell I'm trying to say, Lue, he's trying to get a lot of Lakers fans to cheer for the Clippers, because it's all LA, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not a California native, even though I do like to frequent LA, so I cannot tell you who to root for. But being a Tennessee native, I always go for my Tennessee teams. You understand what I'm saying? So I can feel that if Nashville had an NBA team and the Grizzlies lost, I probably would maybe pull for the home team. It just all depends. So I don't tell anybody who to root for. You can root for your favorite player. If your favorite player switch teams and you still want to root for them, hell, that's your damn business. I get so tired of people trying to tell people who to root for and why they worried about it. Like all these LeBron James haters talk about, oh, you're a Heat fan, now you're a Cavs fan, now you're like, bruh, what was you all these years? You was a San Antonio fan. You understand what I'm saying? Then you're a Golden State fan. You understand what I'm saying? So whoever LeBron was going against in the finals, that's who you became a fan of. Because trust this, there was not a lot of Golden State fans around prior to 2015 and 16. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So at the end of the day, like I said, always just do you, worry about yourself, and stay in your own damn lane. But my main point of this whole video, I'm sorry I couldn't get a little bit more crunk because of my voice, but at the end of the day is you cannot do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself, and that was proven last night. So now that people have seen it, all the people that was hating on LeBron, maybe they will finally understand not to hate on that man, because now their beloved Kevin Durant had to go through the same shit and fell victim of it too. But at least LeBron can get his team to the finals out of this so-called weak East. But then everybody else want to say, oh, well, the East is so strong now. Like it's that much stronger than when LeBron was there, man. Come on, be serious. Only thing that made it strong was Brooklyn. Hell, and y'all ass lost. So what you mean it's strong? You think LeBron would have folded to this damn Brooklyn team? Hell no. That run he went on in 2018, did you not know Toronto Raptors had the best record in the league and was the #1 seed? And Kyle Lowry and Siakam and damn DeMar DeRozan was playing at excellent levels. And that team was actually better than that Cleveland team. And LeBron and Cleveland swept them boys. What they did to Oladipo in Indiana, they was playing hella ball. Do y'all understand, or did you forget? But anyway, as always, man, I just want to send peace and much love out to everybody. Like I said, you know, happy Father's Day to everybody. And as always, right on to the real, man, and much love to the haters. You know what I'm saying? I'm out.